Welcome to the Cigar Rebel community, where indulgence meets authenticity. This is more than a podcast. It's a gathering place for those who savor life's luxuries with unapologetic passion. Here we celebrate the fine art of living through rich flavors, bold spirits, exquisite cigars, and unforgettable experiences.
All right, sorry. Our microphones were acting kind of strange. We've unmuted them. Hopefully now all the sound is going through.
Yep, absolutely. So do you want to start over?
I mean, yeah, we definitely can. We can.
We'll start from the top. We're talking tonight about new cigars 2026.
Yes. So I think that is a great topic for tonight. And the 4 words we're using to describe this podcast is new releases coming soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Tonight's episode, as I just said, and none of y'all could hear, is one of our favorites to do every single year because it's talking about the future. It's the cigars everyone's buzzing about. It's the releases that people are already hunting, and it's the box collectors that are trying to get them so you and I do not even get a chance to smoke them.
Right. So today we are diving into some of the biggest and most exciting releases of 2026. We have spent the past several weeks reviewing the PCA announcements, retailer feedback, industry reports, manufacturer releases, and early reviews to bring what we think the cigars deserve your attention. Those ones for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're talking about Davidoff. We're talking about Plasencia, Monte Cristo, Rocky Patel, dozens of boutique brands, limited editions, collector cigars, and a few surprises that we think might end up being some of the hottest cigars of the year.
Right. So everybody wants to know, is it limited? Who blended it? What is the wrapper? And how many boxes? When does it ship? Can I get one? And should I get 10?
Yeah, and Mel, the funny thing is that 90% or really 99% of the time, no one's even smoked the cigar yet. It's not even been released, but it's just pursued.
Yes, so exactly. So that's really what happened recently with the father and son release by Perdomo. No one had smoked it. And
Absolutely.
They released it exclusively to Two Guys cigars, and all the boxes really sold out. I think they kept a few singles floating around. But all the boxes gone.
Yeah, absolutely. And even though no one had smoked it, the cigars were gone in about 2 hours. And I know this personally because I was in a meeting. I knew the launch was happening. About an hour and a half into the launch, I jumped on to order a box so we could just try some with some of our buddies, and they were gone. So I jumped over to social media, and sure enough, they had already been announced that they were sold out. I mean, this was a huge release. Yeah. They said they went really deep, and they lasted for about 90 to 120 minutes.
Yeah,
which was crazy. And it was, even though no one had smoked it, it was gone.
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy. So tonight, kind of, building on that a little bit, we are going to be talking about upcoming releases that have our attention that is heading into the second half of 2026, as we are now in month 6. And we're not necessarily going to be talking the most hype, not necessarily the rarest, but really the cigars we think are worth watching.
Yeah, absolutely. So before that, Mel, what are we smoking tonight?
So tonight we are smoking the Lady Marmalade by the Elevated Humidor. This has an Ecuador Habano Rojo wrapper, Dominican binder, and then undisclosed for now Dominican fillers. So Rebels, go ahead and cut, light, and settle in with us as we launch this topic tonight.
Absolutely. So what do you think about the cold draw before we go to the cutting?
So for me, I get a lot of some warm spiciness to it, little hints of it. Have it in there, and some citrus or zest in there.
Yeah, definitely on the finish. It's got a very short finish on the cold draw. There's a natural sweet tobacco. So I'm really excited to get this one cut and light. And so let's go ahead and light our cigars. And we have a couple of new commercials tonight. And so tonight's lighting is brought to you by the Elevated Humidor.
Some moments deserve more than just passing by. They deserve to be celebrated. That's the philosophy behind the Elevated Humidor. Born from a passion for hand-rolled premium cigars, TEH blends world-class tobaccos from the Dominican Republic and Nicaragua into cigars crafted with tradition, precision, and purpose. Whether you're marking a milestone, closing a deal, or simply taking a well-earned pause, the Elevated Humidor turns a simple moment into a lasting memory. With 4 distinct collections crafted to satisfy every palate, there's truly something for everyone. Explore the smooth refinement of the Velvet Collection, the elevated sophistication of the Elegant Collection, the timeless character of the Core Collection, or the flavor experience of our Infused Collection. Visit your preferred tobacconist and ask for the Elevated Humidor by name. If you don't find us on the shelf, our premium collections are available online through our trusted retail partner, Two Guys Cigars, bringing exceptional craftsmanship and unforgettable experiences directly to your door. The Elevated Humidor. Celebrate life the elevated way.
As always, thank you to our sponsors. So now that we have our Lady Marmalade lit, how is flavor notes? What flavor notes are you picking up after the light?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's very creamy with a little, there's a lot of smoke production. You cut this in a V-cut for us tonight. And so there's a lot of smoke production coming kind of centraled in. That smoke is very creamy. There's a little bit of hints of dried cherries. And those warm spices are still there, but more on the retro and on the finish. Mm-hmm. And so anything you're getting?
So I'm still getting a little bit of that spice off of the cold draw that we had talked about. A little bit of some fruitiness in there, maybe a little bit of, and spice could very well even be some of the zest I'd mentioned earlier, you know.
Right.
And there's a little bit of fruit chard in there. Oh.
Sorry, it was blinking off.
Oh, okay.
We've been having mic issues. So the issue with the mics tonight is I plugged them in earlier today. The mic cord didn't charge anything.
Yeah.
What was that? Yeah, I know. That's red is not good.
Right.
So sorry, live audience was asking us a question. Sorry about that. So so we had a mic issue. It didn't charge them, and so we've had to swap out. Luckily, we got multiple mics, but we're really working through getting those done. It's that's why I was checking Belle's mic because yours blinked off. So
okay.
I just want to make sure we're still on. But let's jump right back into tonight's topic.
Yes.
This is what happens when you do a live broadcast and you're setting up and traveling. We just got back from New Hampshire. As many as you guys know, we were traveling most of last week. We were here in Lufkin for less than 30 hours and off to Fort Worth and got back about 45 minutes ago. So we have just been in this mad dash circling around in order to get to the podcast tonight. Yeah. But let's jump right in.
Yeah. All right. So every year we come back from PCA and ask the same question. You know, what's the mood? What's the vibe? What is happening in the cigar world? And really, honestly, this year felt different.
Yeah, absolutely. It really did. There was a level of energy and a little bit of confidence and excitement among manufacturers that this looked like one of the strongest years that has been experienced in the last several years in the industry. Retailers were optimistic. manufacturers were confident. The wording and the excitement was consumers are continuing to buy and pursue, especially limited editions. And with the most recent numbers coming in from 2025 as well as Q1 26 imports, the premium cigar industry is continuing to thrive.
Right. And one thing I noticed is that really consumers aren't simply buying cigars anymore. They are curating collections, they're aging their cigars, they're building dedicated humidors, and they're learning about the different tobacco regions, and really they're becoming students of the hobby.
Yeah, absolutely. And the average premium cigar smoker today is way more educated than ever before. People know the wrapper origins, they understand fermentation, they kind of begin to know who the master blenders are that they like to pursue, like AJ Fernandez, and they're truly pursuing a better cigar, which is pushing manufacturers to create better cigars.
Mm-hmm, right. And you really can't fake quality anymore. If the cigar doesn't perform, the internet is going to find out very quickly.
Yeah, absolutely, very quickly. I mean, and it's truly helping the industry because good cigars are rising to the top and great cigars are creating loyal customers and followers.
Right. The other thing I'm seeing is what I like to call the luxury effect. So some premium cigar smokers are increasingly willing to spend more money for the unique experiences. And
Absolutely.
We're seeing more of that $25, $30, even $50 cigars, more of those really than ever before.
Yeah, and surprisingly, many of them are selling. Not because people want expensive cigars, but because people want memorable cigars. And more importantly, they have FOMO.
Yes. So we are seeing that in the McAuliffe effect as more cigars are being released around that $10 to under $15 range.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that has blown up. You know, the McAuliffe effect is coined its own
and
phrasing.
so the problem is when you look at this, you talked about the luxury effect as well as the McAuliffe effect, and they're both going on at the exact same time. And I think social media has truly begun to impact everything. 20 years ago, you simply smoked a cigar. Now you photograph it, you review it, you post it, you compare it, and you chase the next thing.
So true. And I think people post in their favorite social media channel to show off the latest find and to rate it and compare it to the last big thing.
Yeah, and manufacturers truly know it. That's why we're seeing more numbered releases, more limited runs, more anniversary projects, and more special packaging.
Right. So shops, manufacturers, consumers, everyone is really interested in the buzz and to learn the newest cigar or really the latest find.
Yeah, absolutely. And as I said a moment ago, it's just different than it was 15 or 20 years ago. And it's why so many manufacturers' LE game or limited edition game is so strong.
Right. The consumers today ask better questions than they did 5 years ago. And honestly, that's making manufacturers even better. So, I mean, keep the questions coming, you know? The question is, what makes a new release worth watching?
Absolutely.
You know, there's hyped versus the substance, limited edition, limited release, or regular production. The story behind the cigar, if there is one. And in the end, that really all impacts the launch. But the consistency in the construction, the performance of the cigar, and the quality still is going to win the day every time.
Yeah, absolutely. I would totally agree with you. In Rebels, we tried to narrow down a list using a scoring system to determine which cigars to watch and those that we really want to try and get our hands on if they're still around by the time this podcast comes out. But it was tough. So in the end, we decided to share with you tonight cigars that we are interested in watching based on past performance, manufacturers that we trust, cigars that we enjoy, and of course, those that the masses are going to be running out to get their hands on or those collectors are going to be hoarding.
Right. So let's go ahead and run through a list of cigars that have launched or will be launching in 2026. And then I think we can highlight some that the Rebels should pay attention to or share their thoughts with us in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to get right into that. But Mel, why don't you get us started on that tonight?
Right. So we'll start off with the Davidoff Puro Dominicano. This is a new returning line, and the factory of origin is the Dominican Republic or Davidoff, and their release status, it was the PCA 2026 highlight.
Yeah.
Also from Davidoff is the Year of the Horse. This is a limited edition, same factory origin, and their release status, the same PCA 2026. It was also a highlight.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we have a lot of these to get through, guys, tonight. And so, Mel, we may not have to go through all that detail on every single one of them. I think just to make sure we get through the cigars.
Okay. So there is...
Because a lot of them are, sorry, I'm jumping in. A lot of them are PCA, so I didn't want it to be...
Yeah, most of these ones on my side are from PCA.
Yeah.
So Drew Estate, the Underground El Tigre Dominicano, Rocky Patel Sapphire. That one came out PCA's 2026 debut, I believe. Yes. Plasencia Triunfal, the Year of the Horse, also by Plasencia. The Monte Cristo Esperanza Conquistador, the Monte Cristo 1935 Anniversary Edition Double Demente Red, the Casa Carrilla Perez Carrillo Ascend, the Perez Carrillo Deep Blue Limited Edition 2026. That one released on March 14th of 2026. The Perdomo Legacy Father and Son Connecticut. That is a new line. We talked about that a little bit. That one released at Two Guys on May 20th.
Yep, and I messed up those notes there because that's really the Connecticut, the new Shade Grown, and the Maduro, all three.
Yes.
I was trying to condense the notes after you put this list together, and that's my fault.
No, it's good.
And that's why originally I was trying to cut off that whole list on the right for PCA, because I was going to say these are all PCA minus the few that we kind of know.
Yeah.
So
the My Father La Lille Tad, that is a new line. The Don Pepin Garcia Classico 20th Anniversary, that's a limited edition. Tatuaje Exclusive Series 2026 Tuxtla, that's a limited edition. The Alec Bradley 30 Years, in case you were wondering what that 30 years is for, it's the new anniversary line.
Yep, absolutely.
The Punch Rare Corojo 25th Anniversary, that is also a new line. The CAO American 250th Anniversary is a limited edition.
Yeah, and we're going to see several of those 250 editions, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, lots of companies are coming out with the Independence America 250 cigar, which is wildly interesting. We're going to do a whole episode on America 250 on June 29th, and we'll go a little bit more detail into each of these cigars. But it's kind of mind-boggling that so many of these companies came out with an America 250.
Yeah.
Walking around PCA, there was red, white, and blue and flags and American cigar kind of decor all over the place. And the funniest thing is only one cigar company that I'm aware of is based out of the United States that has an America 250. Everyone else is, they just know where their cigar buyers are.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. So
you also mentioned that My Father, I'm really excited for that one.
Yes.
And to bring that into stories, but then also be able to smoke that. So
that was my list.
Yeah, absolutely. And I apologize. This has been a little choppy at first. I was super excited about tonight's episode to bring this to you guys, and it feels just really choppy with all the microphone issues. We're getting feedback. I think I finally have it solved. And so I'm going to jump right in. So this list we're bringing to you is kind of our 55 cigars to watch. We're going to go into a lot more detail here in a minute, but we just wanted to throw them out there. If you go to the link on this podcast after the podcast, these will be in the notes, and we'll have a link so you can pull down this list so that you can follow along. We're also will have it posted later tonight or tomorrow on our social media so that you can go out there and hunt these cigars. So the next one that we're going to go into is Cohiba, the Serie M Reserva Plata. This is a new line extension as a part of the limited series of the Serie M from Cohiba. Macanudo has come out with 2 cigars this year. Both were released at PCA, the Ecuadorian Shade as well as the Sumatra. It's a full new core line for them. I've had the opportunity to smoke the Sumatra. It is spectacular for a Macanudo. I say that because either you love or you don't like Macanudo. In their Sumatra, it's one of the better Macanudos I've had in a while. Partagas came out with a new addition to their Inadamas. This is the Inadamas Chavo. And so I'm super excited to smoke that one. I've not had it. It shipped late last month. It'll be landing in stores. Probably some of your shops already have them. Our shop will be getting it in a couple of weeks. La Gloria Cubana Intención is a new core line blended out of Nicaragua. HVC La Decoración is a new line that's being added to the HVC line. And then Casada went big this year at PCA, releasing 3 new cigars. Suspiro, which I'm kind of interested in trying, Mel. It's their new sweet tipped. I'd like to try that. It's a sub $10 cigar. I think it could be good for us at Stories and all you shop owners.
You try it first and then let me know.
Yeah, absolutely. Then there's the Don Manillo 75. And of course, they've already announced their Oktoberfest 2026 cigar that'll be releasing in September. La Aurora came out with the Perseverancia, which is a new line, and the Preferidos 1903 double barrel aged 2026, which is a crazy name to me, guys. The Preferidos, which I can't pronounce, and then it's 1903 double barrel aged 2026. So, like, say that one 3 or 4 times quickly, right? That is a new limited edition, so they're only releasing in 2026. I have heard that they're releasing a 27, 28, and 29 of that line. It's the same cigar, just aged an additional year. So we'll see how that plays out over the next few years, but interesting idea. Lure, the new Wahoo limited edition, which was released at PCA. Adventura adds to their line with the Blue Eye Jack, Revenge, Maduro, High Tide. Arturo Fuente, and this one I'm wildly interested in, Mel, and I'm looking forward to smoking this. I've been seeing pictures of it. I've not seen it in person. Is the new Rare Pink Vintage 1960s Black Pink.
Yeah.
It's a new line. The box is jet black with pink accents. It's beautiful. And that was actually released back in March, but a lot of shops shipments go out in June or July. So it'll be interesting to see when that comes out.
Yeah. No, I think that is a great starting list of what we are talking about with new releases today. So we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we have more cigars on our top 55 list and a few cigars that we're going to highlight. And Kevin and I will share our top 5 each to go ahead and watch. So we'll see you in just a second.
We fell in love with cigars not because of the flavors or smoking experience or perceived status, but because it allows barriers to fall between other humans and build deeper connections. For that reason, we've been super intentional to curate a space where people can find community and enjoyment with others, and cigars just happen to be the way we're doing it. For that reason, we are thrilled to be the one and only cigar retail store and lounge in downtown Lufkin. A good story is one of the most powerful tools used to connect with another human. Sharing stories fades out differences and highlights similarities found in the details or with the storyteller. Over the years, we have seen some of the best stories told over cigars, and thus, new friendships are made, passions shared, encouragement given, and so much more. The impact storytelling has on the human connection is why we've decided to name our store and lounge Stories. Because behind every good cigar and conversation is an even better story.
Back in 1905, under Montana skies, 100 sets and factories rolled smoke for a while. Reminders of ranchers' life one grin. Now Big Sky Cigar is bringing that spirit back in.
Yellowstone River to the bold bighorn flow. Madison, Beirut, like what we know. And Lee from Nicaragua, San Andres to the Ecuador, Rhoda.
And and every box sold helps our veterans mend. With warriors and quiet waters, we lend a friend's hand. It's heritage burning in every draw. Big Sky Cigars, Montana's pride and law. Big Sky Cigar, where heritage flows with every draw. Find your rare red Big Sky Cigar to pop.
As always, thank you to our sponsors. Let's go ahead before we dive back into our topic and look at the next upcoming shows.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me click that. Tonight is the night about technology issues. So I think we have all our sound issues ready to go. So jump into topics. June 15th, next Monday night. I'm really excited about this. We'll have all our mic issues behind us. The Duel, we're going to have 6 panelists with us. We're going to have 2 with us live in person, 2 virtually, and we're going to be smoking a sub $13 cigar and a over $28 cigar, smoking both of them blind. We're going to score them live on the show. Even though there could really only be one winner.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. June 22nd is our coffee and cigars, the perfect pairing, and we will be smoking the Arts and Crafts by the Elevated Humidor. I'm excited about that, and we have a lot of people who are really excited for that topic. So
yeah, and so if you join us here live at Stories, we're going to have a few different coffees for you to enjoy with your cigar, so it should be a fun night. On June 29th, America 250, the Celebration cigars and more, and we're going to be smoking the McAuliffe Black Firecracker.
July 6th is going to be Cigar School 101, how to cut and light a cigar the right way, and we will be smoking the Paladin Connecticut by Hoot & Young.
I'm excited. If you have not smoked a Hoot & Young cigar, I'm excited to be smoking that with you guys and get some feedback. So Mel, before we move on too far, what do you think about this cigar?
So I am liking this cigar. It's picked up a little bit in strength as I've kind of gotten about halfway through it.
Yeah, it smokes. You're further along than I am. It smokes bold from the very beginning. It's very complex from a flavor intensity perspective. But then the strength has picked up just a little bit, not a lot, but maybe a notch for me. But that complexity is still there, and I'm excited. I've smoked this before. Going into that second, third, you'll have a little bit of a transition in that complexity shifts, and so I'm excited about that.
Yes, I'm getting some good dried fruit notes on here, some warm spices, and I'm liking it. So
yeah, on the retro hell, I get a little bit of nutmeg, almost a sweet cinnamon. On the palate, it's not a very long finish, but on the retro hell, it's a very long finish. And so if you're watching tonight and this is your first time tuning in, please go down and click that subscribe button. If you follow us along on YouTube, you can go ahead and click the notify button. It'll let you know when the new issues are coming out, the new episodes. It'll email you and notify you a couple of days ahead of time. It'll let you know that we're getting ready to go live. As always, you can find us on our social media platforms at Cigar Rebel. We'd love to have you along for this journey.
Yes.
And so, Mel, let's jump right back into the topic. You've got about 10 more. I've got about 10 more. And then we're going to go into a few details and then our top 5 cigars that we're watching for the rest of 2026.
Yes, so I will go ahead and start off that list with the Joya de Nicaragua, the classical original Green Room Selection, limited edition. Oliva is doing a Series V Milanio Edition Año 2026.
And I'm excited about that. I've enjoyed the last several years, so I'm excited for this one.
Me too. 601 has 3 limited edition series coming out. The Blue 20th Anniversary, the La Bamba Warhead 12, and the La Bamba Warhead 250 Independence Day.
Yeah, and I'm excited. All 3 of those ship to us. We got notification today. They're shipping tomorrow, so I'm super excited to try all 3 of those. The 601's an excellent cigar, so I'm excited for these.
Yeah. Aganor Salif, they are doing an Anniversario Connecticut Tubo. Aging Room has a Blue Amber Blue Celestar coming out, and that is a new line extension. HVC has Pan Caliente 10th Anniversary Limited Edition 2026. CLE is doing a 1916 Tabacalera Aurora line, and that one will hope maybe it just came out recently if it came out on time.
I think it started shipping late May.
Yes. Rojas is adding a new regular production to their line. Quiet Morning is the name of that cigar. Rojas.
Sorry, I was going to jump in. I smoked that on Thursday. Yeah, it was Thursday afternoon in the Lancero, and it was fantastic.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. I've not tried that one yet. The Rojas also, if you guys are a fan of the Cinco de Mayo, that one came out last month. I enjoy that cigar. It comes out once a year. I always grab one or two of them. And then, of course, we cannot leave McAuliffe off of this list. They have the new Color Series White. They have the number 2 in the Toro and the Gordo size. And then they are going to release in the fall of 2026 the orange. So I've had the white and I've had the number 2. Both are excellent. Haven't had the orange, but I'm excited to try it when it comes out.
Yeah, so the number 2 and the white are fantastic. The orange, I do believe we smoked when we were in San Antonio. They gave us those 2 experimentals that just said Liga number 7 on it or whatever. I can't remember what the wording was, but Liga number something.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that's what that was. It was fantastic.
Great.
Based on the profile of what we're hearing, it smoked very similar for that. We were very blessed.
Yeah.
Dan is always generous when we're with him, maybe to the chagrin of some others there, but we appreciate their generosity. If we haven't smoked it either way, I'm super stoked for the orange.
We could neither confirm or deny at this point. Zeno Cigars, they are releasing a Zeno Honduras. That will be a new core line for them. The El Titan de Bronze is releasing the El Titan de Bronze Nicaragua. The Elevated Humidor is releasing the Lady Marmalade in November of 2026, and then the Velvet Gold in July of 2026. And the Velvet Gold is going to be an extension of their Velvet series. So Velvet Spice, Velvet Smooth, they're getting a new edition, Velvet Gold. And Lady Marmalade is going to be entering the Elegant series. So that is going to be part of the series with Ladybug and Lady Jade.
Absolutely. So Richard asked, did you guys finish the cookies? Did you give any away at the store? So we have not finished the cookies, Richard. They are fantastic.
They're great.
We did share them at a slushy bourbon night that we had on Friday night at Stories. And so we brought some up here. It looks like I put them up on the counter. It looks like they're all gone. So most of those were eaten. We've got a few we held back at the house that Mel and I think a couple of our kids will be enjoying later tonight.
They were beautiful. They were delicious. It was the whole package.
Absolutely. So I've got great pictures so we can show them on the episode here in the next week or so because we're going to talk about pairings, and that chocolate pairing was fantastic. I enjoyed some of the cigar a couple of days ago. So I'm going to wrap up this list of 55 with just a few more. We're going to get a little bit more detailed content that's not just listing off cigars, but we wanted to give you this larger list that we felt like needed to be viewed and just know that they're out there. One that needs to be on this list, and many of you are going to groan, is Drew Estate's new Deadwood Dominicana Buenas Noches. This is an extension to the Deadwood line. It's a bolder, a little bit stronger cigar within that group, still coming out of their new Dominican factory. So I'm excited to see that. Roma Craft earlier this year did release their craft series. Most of those are sold out. You can't get them. If you do run across them, grab some. They're fantastic. CAO did release Amazon Basin 2026, which was a surprise to everybody because they just released them last year, Mel, and they normally only release them every 3 years.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah.
Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust released the Year of the Poser, and so that was released in March of 2026, and there's a Tommy and a Michelle, I think is what they are, and they're 2 different blends. That's the first names of a family, the Posers family. And so we do have some of those on order. And so we're excited to see those. They came out recently. Had an opportunity to pick a couple up recently, but we haven't smoked them yet. And then 2 cigars that I am extremely excited about. One is from United Cigars, is the Bandolero Firecracker coming out this fall. It is a limited series. This is the second time they've done a Bandolero Firecracker. It's blended in Costa Rica, and really excited for that. And the other one is the United Cigars Independence Firecracker 250. Comes out of Dominican factory. It is a limited annual series, and this is in celebration. And it comes in a beautiful tin. If you want to see a picture of that, you can check out last week's episode. We were live in New Hampshire with Oliver Deveau of United Cigars, and he did walk us through that cigar, that blend, and the box that doubles as an ashtray. and it's absolutely beautiful.
And I would say, even if you are not if maybe the firecracker is not for you, I would say definitely still try the 250. It's great.
Yeah, absolutely. So Mel, what's next for us?
So before we get to our picks, we wanted to highlight a couple of interesting items from the list. And we wanted to start with a cigar that might be on half the wish lists in America, and that is going to be the Davidoff Year of the Horse.
Yeah, every year Davidoff releases a Chinese Zodiac cigar, and every year collectors go absolutely crazy. But it's because they've earned the reputation, Mel.
Right. So what impresses me about Davidoff isn't necessarily the packaging, but it is the consistency. You can spend $30 on a cigar and you're going to know exactly what you're getting. You're going to know the construction, the draw, the balance, the complexity, that elegance. Those are all things that are not accidental. They're very mindful in the construction of a cigar.
And it's why consumers trust them. So Mel, why don't you tell our listeners why this particular blend, or what makes this special?
So it is a limited production, aged tobaccos, a complex Dominican blending. It has a very luxurious presentation. And the reality is many of these boxes are going to disappear into private collections almost immediately.
Absolutely.
Some people are going to smoke them. Some people are going to age them. Some people are probably never even going to open the box. And I think that's crazy, but everybody, to each their own.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. It's crazy. I'm going to smoke mine. Life is too short. Someone in our live audience said a little bit earlier when we were talking about cigars and collecting, was like, well, I'm going to smoke them. We're talking about the black pink, and that many collectors are just going to buy it simply to collect it. But life is way too short to collect cigars. If you have a great cigar, smoke it. People that tell us they're waiting for a celebration, I woke up today. That's celebration enough to grab a cigar and enjoy it.
Yep.
So let's talk about a company that's become an absolute powerhouse, Mel. Let's talk about Plasencia.
So a little more than a decade ago, cigar enthusiasts really knew Plasencia mostly as growers. So today they are one of the hottest brands in premium cigars. And really, if you've smoked any of that Alma series, you will understand why.
Yeah, absolutely. It really is true. And Plasencia has created great cigars over the last several years. Their 2026 Year of the Horse release generated massive attention at PCA. People were lining up to see it, along with the World Cup-inspired True and False cigar, which is a 2026 limited release.
Yes, so that represents much more than a cigar. That's what Jose Luis Plasencia said. It honors one of the most powerful shared celebrations inspired by the game that unites the world. So
it's a great quote by him.
Yeah, I think it's great. The family history alone is incredible. The generations of tobacco cultivations, the decades of experience, and now they're creating really some of the most sought after cigars in the world.
They really are. And each release that they do tends to get better than the next. And so we're going to talk about one of those here in a little bit. But let's shift gears for just a few minutes. Let's talk about Monte Cristo.
Yes, so this is one of the most recognizable names in cigars. If you have a lounge humidor, you get a lot of people that walk in saying, where are the Monte Cristos?
Absolutely. Monte Cristo White, classic cigar.
Yes, and it's a brand that really continues to evolve. The Double Diamante Red is the perfect example of that. This Monte Cristo moved aggressively into the ultra premium territory. And what's interesting about that is that newer smokers sometimes overlook Monte Cristo because they associate it with the older generations.
Yeah, and modern Monte Cristo is producing exceptional cigars. And I say modern Monte Cristo because I feel like there was a shift in the blending team and how things were being done. And they've done tremendous work on some of the newest releases over the past 5 years. Yeah. They've done a really good job with cigars such as the Espada series.
Yeah. And one of the biggest challenges with iconic brands is expectations. Everybody expects excellence every single time, especially when that cigar has a $150 price tag.
Yeah, that new Monte Cristo released, it's a $150 cigar MSRP. And the reality is we're seeing it already selling on the secondary market for $40 and $50 north of that.
Yeah.
I saw a guy on Whatnot today selling it for $190 a cigar, and you had to buy 40 at minimum.
Yeah.
I mean, and they were having bids. It was the craziest thing to me.
Yeah.
But the Espada series, as I mentioned a moment ago, has been very good. But I'm very concerned that the $150 price tag sets the expectations to the level of impossible.
Yeah.
However, the company has stated, Mel, that they are going to go ultra luxury, and this cigar took a major step.
Yeah.
I've heard a couple people in the industry. I'd heard it and heard the rumor, and then I heard somebody else that I really trust that they're pretty connected, that they're going off brand. They're going after brands like Davidoff. They're trying to take down Plasencia. I heard somebody else say, man, I don't know if a $150 cigar does it, but it's definitely stepping into the ultra premium.
I'm interested to see how it goes for sure. So let's shift a little bit and talk about one of my favorite categories, which is going to be boutique cigars.
Oh, come on. That's my category. I mean, some of the most exciting innovation is happening in the cigar industry outside of the giant companies.
Yes, there's Hood & Young, HDA, Lure, Big Sky, Crux, Tatanka, and so many others. These are small batch releases and experimental blends.
And these companies are taking risks. They're creating exceptional cigars. They're creating unique packaging and memorable swag.
Yeah.
They're doing some unique things where typically I call it cigarbage, but they're coming out with some pretty cool things, like the skull ashtray that HDA just came out with. Is a really cool addition. And it's being used as a, hey, buy some cigars, get into a raffle to win this skull ashtray, which is actually, I'm not a big skull guy, but it was really cool.
It was cool.
And I'm excited for us to be getting some of those. And because of that risk that these smaller brands are taking, consumers are rewarding them.
Right. And I think boutique cigars are where enthusiasts discover their next favorite smoke.
Yeah, and based on all that we've talked about tonight, let's make a few predictions. So we're going to talk a handful. I think trend number one, or prediction number one, is limited editions are going to continue growing at a rapid pace.
And I could agree with that. I think trend number two is aged tobacco is going to become even more important.
Absolutely. Aged tobacco provides the opportunity to make an exceptional cigar. And as more and more tobacco is aging, some of these big companies, but also these boutique companies are getting access to it. So I think it's a great prediction, Mel. Number three is this: luxury and unique packaging. Innovation continues to evolve. It keeps evolving, and you're going to see more and more innovation, such as as we talked about the firecracker, it's a tin that box comes in. When you flip it over, it's an ashtray.
Yeah, I think those things are great. And trend number four, I think we're seeing some smaller production line runs, some higher quality control, and really more exclusivity.
Yeah, and this is what I think the biggest prediction is going to be. Consumers are going to continue to become more and more educated, and that's going to require manufacturers to up their game. The simple, flashy marketing is not going to get it done anymore. The days of flashy marketing are over. People want authenticity, they want quality, they want consistency. They want a story that is backed by substance now.
And I love that, because I love when a cigar is amazing because the cigar is amazing. You know, nothing wrong with good story, good marketing, nothing wrong with that. But when the cigar matches with that, it's perfection right there. So we're running just a smidge long on time. But we already gave our list of cigars to watch. There was 55 or 56 of them, somewhere around there. but each of us kind of want to name the 5 cigars to watch in 2026.
And I can appreciate that you gave me the heads up on that earlier, and I'm on board. Let's go ahead and do this, but ladies first.
All right, so my top 5 picks, the first one is the La Gloria Cubana Intención, Drew Estates, the Deadwood Dominicana Buenas Noches. I'm interested to see how that one goes. The Elevated Humidor Lady Marmalade. That is, like we said earlier, new extension of that line. The Rocky Patel Sapphire. And, of course, can't leave out the McAuliffe series, the color series, and then also that number 2.
Yeah, absolutely. So on those 5, you want to pick 1 or 2 and kind of why you're watching them, what your interest is, what you think the outcome is going to be of that cigar?
So I'm interested really to see, I always am very interested with McAuliffe and how their color series, when they release them, just seeing the feedback is usually always great.
Yep.
I know people are really wildly anticipating this new orange. I think most people at this point have probably tried the white and the red, and I know both of them, as far as all the feedback that I have received, has been phenomenal. So I'm really interested for them and to see how the orange does for them.
Yeah.
The Deadwood Dominicana Buenas Noches, I'm interested to see that just because they continue to put out cigars that people who smoke that Deadwood line really gravitate toward.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. I would agree 100% with those.
and I can't leave off Lady Marmalade because we're getting lots of questions about that one. Lots of people really interested, kind of rounding out this elegant collection for now. So I'm excited to have that one come out as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So before I jump to my top 5, if you're watching with us live or on a replay, we would love to know what 1 or 2 cigars you're excited about and that you're watching for 2026 or what you think they might be doing. Feel free to drop those in the comments while I do my list. If you're watching us on a replay, go ahead and hashtag ReplayFam and let us know what those cigars are. And we'll mention it in a future episode, what those cigars are that you rebels out there are following along. So here's my 5. I'll give a little commentary as I go. Drew Estates, Undercrown, El Tagra, Dominicana. We had the opportunity to smoke this at a lounge just a couple of days ago. We were at Rhino's in Londonderry. Not Londonderry, somewhere in New Hampshire.
Yeah.
And so we were enjoying this cigar. It was absolutely fantastic. I'm excited to see that develop. I do enjoy the Undercrown shade, and so that's been a great cigar that we have often while eating. There's a cigar shop where we like to go and grab a steak when we're traveling and always get one of those cigars to smoke along with it. And so this El Tigre, I'm super excited. The Plasencia Truenfall, which is a limited series, and I'm excited to watch this one for one reason. And I'm not trying to be negative. I didn't love it. I was super excited. I paid $70 a cigar for it, so it was $140 for 2 cigars. And it just wasn't in my wheelhouse. Now, the issue is several people that I know that have smoked it have absolutely loved it. One person said if it wasn't for the price tag, it would become their new regular smoke. That's how much they loved it. It would take over the other 2 cigars that they smoke on a regular basis.
And that's great feedback.
It is.
To hear.
I heard somebody else, they hated it, and they wish they had just bought a couple of 149s. And I get that. So it's interesting to see how that plays out. HVC, I totally lost my late. Can you say that word?
The Decoration.
The Decoration. Sorry. I'm still fiddling with mics, and so my mind's all over the place. So HVC, La Decoration. I said it earlier.
Mm-hmm.
It's a new line. Everything HVC's come out with is fantastic. I've not smoked this. The release was end of May. It kind of was showcased at PCA. I'm excited to see how that goes. My father, La Liltad, is a new line. The last few cigars they've come out with have been exceptional, and so I'm excited to see this one. The blue line that came out several months ago wasn't my favorite, but it was very good. And so I'm excited to see this one. People are saying either you're going to love it or you're going to love the blue. So Blue I thought was good, but not fantastic. I know people that love it, so I'm excited to see it. And then finally, the big one that I'm super excited, we had the opportunity to smoke one just about a week ago, and that is the United Cigars Independence Firecracker 250. I know they're going to sell out quick.
Yes.
I'm going to get several boxes. I'm going to make sure we have those, and I'm really excited to hear everybody's feedback on those. Somebody said there, Krista said she was looking for the Lady Marmalade and the McAuliffe Orange. I would agree that those are both going to be fantastic cigars.
Yeah, I agree.
This Lady Marmalade has treated us very, very well.
Yes. So final thoughts for you on the Lady Marmalade.
Yeah, so I've gotten a little into it. I've been messing with mics a lot tonight and trying to keep up, so I've not been smoking as much. My final thought is the boldness and the flavor profile have both inched up a little bit, but they've kept very well balanced. One didn't take over the other.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still getting those warm spice notes with dried fruit on the finish. And then on the retro hell, I'm still getting that almost sweet cinnamony. And it's not cinnamon like you get in like dark sin or something, but just that hint of that cinnamon sweetness that you would get. Sometimes if you just kind of drop a can of cinnamon and it dusts in the air, it's just got that nice sweetness to it.
Smell that's
that really getting
sweet,
that on the
spice.
retro hell.
Yeah, I would agree with all of that. I definitely think I'm a little further into this cigar than you are. That spice, or we talked about there's some zest in there that's really coated kind of the inside of my lips and is lingering, and the flavors are kind of sticking in the back of my mouth. So it's a great cigar.
Much like the Ladybug in this line, this is a medium plus to medium full. I think the Ladybug's a little stronger than this one. However, I just think I'm not paying that much attention. And the flavor intensity of it matches it.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't feel as strong as it is, but I am feeling it now that I think about it. I am feeling a little bit more in my chest than I think I would with the Ladybug. So it may be a little bit stronger, but definitely that medium full range.
And I do feel like it's worth mentioning. So we smoked the Ladybug when we were on the Asheville's Ash Heels podcast last week, and they were picking up some spice notes. So if you've smoked the Ladybug, you get, some people get it in the beginning, some people get it throughout, some people get it at the end, just depends. But the spices, I would say, are different. So the cigars are not going to be the same. They are completely different flavor notes that you're going to be getting in both cigars. So
and there's a Nicaraguan tobacco in this. We said Dominican fillers undisclosed. There is one Nicaraguan leaf in the filler. It's a leaf and a half, actually, but in that really changes that spice profile. So it's very different than you get from the almost Dominican Puro of the Ladybug. So really excited for this one. One thing we do probably want to announce is the release.
Yes.
And just that shift, right?
Yeah, so originally we were releasing this over this summer, starting probably end of this month, beginning of next. We have rescheduled that to where now it will be debuting in probably mid-November for pretty much everyone.
Yeah, so we have an opportunity to do a large launch of this cigar. It'll be a unique opportunity for us. It's different than how we've launched cigars before. And so we will have that announcement coming up in just a few weeks. And so we will share all of that with you, Rebels, as soon as that detail is finalized. But we're really excited about it. It'll be a good opportunity for us to get it in a lot of people's hands and smoked, and give some good feedback on that. Dwayne had received the cigar in the Rebel pack, and he said he's really enjoying the second, third, and so that's great feedback.
Yes.
All right, Mel, I think that's our show for tonight.
Yeah, that's our show. Thank you guys so much for joining us today, bearing with us through our mic issues and all that fun stuff that happens when you are producing live. So if you liked this episode, please leave us a review, share with your cigar friends, and hit us up with any topics that you would like us to dive into in future episodes.
And if you're watching or listening on the replay, please drop us a comment with #ReplayFam and click the notify button so that you know when the next episode is coming out. As always, you can catch us on YouTube, Facebook, or anywhere you stream your podcast, Apple, Spotify, Amazon. And next week, we have a really great episode for you, Rebels, The Duel. So join us next Monday night live at 7 Central. with a panel of 4 additional smokers, and we're going to be smoking the sub 13 and the over $28 cigar. There will be a winner at the end based on value, price. It's going to be a great conversation, and we're super excited. But as I said before, tonight, that's our show.
Yes, thank you guys all for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share with your fellow cigar lovers. Until next Monday, keep your cigar lit, your ash long, and your palate curious.
Good night, Rebels. Thanks for putting up with the audio tonight.